Hey there, I just want to say yoga can be for everyone. However, it is your responsibility to determine if you are ready and able to perform this workout video. If you or a family member have a history of heart disease, high blood pressure, or are obese with any physical or medical condition that could be aggravated by a physical activity, please consult a physician before proceeding. If you are pregnant, also consider consulting a physician. If you have any history of injury such as neck, back, shoulder, or knee, please proceed with caution and stop immediately if you feel any pain, lightheadedness, or nausea. The user assumes all risks. Thanks, and I'll see you on the mat. Hi everyone, welcome to Connection Yoga. My name is Kat, and this is Roscoe here, and we are together today to break down a nautical pose which will for sure fire up our bodies today. It is called boat pose, and it is a seated posture that you might have seen in some of the flows you might be kind of familiar with. Might think that, this pose is impossible for me, I'll never get the core to be able to do this, but I have news for you, this is possible for everyone, and we're going to debunk that this is a major core exercise, but that the major action is elsewhere in our body. So a little bit to come here in the future bit. First, I am going to demonstrate the pose, and then we can break it down together. Feel free to get on your mat alongside with me and try out this posture as we talk about it today. So that is what we're going to do. All right, Roscoe? So Roscoe's going to join me. We're going to boat pose it up together, huh? All right. Ta-da! Boat pose. All right, so as you might have noticed, is I went through 3 phases to get up into the fullest expression of this posture. So we're all going to start together at the bottom level and work our way up. So simple to complex. Take a seat. You're going to be facing the long way of your mat with your feet at about hip width apart. So about 2 fist width, or if you prefer them together, that is also okay. You're going to be squeezing that center line either way. So if you like a little space, you want to put a block in between there like we do in chair pose, or if you want to keep them together and squeeze them, then that's totally cool. So starting on the earth with your heels down and your feet slightly flexed, pressing as if you're going to press out of the ball of the foot under your big toe, okay? So knees are bent at 90-degree angles from the back, and then on the top body, you're going to start to descend, and you're going to create a 90-degree angle from the tops of your thighs to the front of your torso as well. So your inner thighs are squeezing together, and before liftoff, again, you descend. So in this pose, it is very challenging. It's not as much of a core activity as it is a fighting gravity kind of activity. So you have to think that if we rotated that posture, what I got to with my legs extended, 45 degrees forward, we would be in staff pose, which can present its own challenges on its own, of course. But if you have challenges here, they might show up and limit you from reaching this full expression. And that's why we start simple and build up, okay? Because we would hate to aim to straighten our legs when the back of our legs are so short, can't handle it, and could wrench on our low back, destabilizing us and putting us worse off than we began, okay? So ideally, we want the weight of this pose to be distributed between the sitting bones and your tailbone. So your tailbone is at the base of your spine here, at the top usually region of your butt crack, okay? Your sitting bones is the bottom of your pelvis. So literally down here on your butt, the pelvis bones that you sit on. So you want to be sitting somewhere between here and here. So in this region, kind of at the top of your butt crack region. I don't know what your butt looks like, but yeah, okay? You get it. So as you descend back, you know, you don't want to go all the way to the tailbone, but you don't want to be all the way forward here, okay? So, Roscoe, hey, chill out, okay? This is what happens sometimes, okay? So, now you can decide here if this is enough. So you draw your core in and you use your low back and sort of create this compression sensation on your spine to keep yourself lifted, to keep the extension and keeping yourself from falling back. So again, that gravity fighting sensation with the torso. All right, so our core is just fighting gravity. But really what holds us in this position is these lower core muscles, our psoas, our hip flexor muscles, and this general region. So these hold the legs up, so keep the hip flexion. Our core and our back keeps us lifted, keeps us from falling back, but our hip flexion is what keeps our legs up and keeps them lifted. So right here, you're gonna just lift right here and pull, okay? And if you start to lift and try and you realize, I don't quite have access to that, you can always bring your heels back down. If you are here and you're active in your core, lifting up, lifting out of your chest, reaching your gaze to the sky, it can be an incredibly active position. You don't need lift off to have the best practice, the most intense. You know, what is most important is protecting your body, being realistic, and honoring its limits and its capabilities. Of course, I challenge you to try new things, to strengthen yourself and grow, but there's no need to ever rush anything. So, as we lift, we bring our shins to be parallel to the mat, creating that bent knee, that 90-degree sensation, still lifted off. Chest is lifting up, like I said, collarbone spreading. I like to have my arms out because I find it helps balance. Palms up, okay? And this palms up helps us to keep the shoulder blade abducted back and down and close to the rib cage here. So we want to keep everything to the center line, all right? And maybe we flex our shoulder a little bit by spreading our fingers and using our shoulder muscles. So we can create activity in our arms. We can add more and more. It's just how engaged in the pose are you? Okay, and that's it. You know, some days we're not as engaged as other days. We're just like, oh, so it's okay. But what you're fighting for is to lift, use those hip flexors, draw the shins up, knees into the chest, and boat pose, okay? And this is the mid-form. This is what I probably do most. I'll admit it. It's a lot of work, a lot of balance to straighten the legs and hold it there, especially when you're trying to do or other core exercises mixed in with boat. But technically, the fullest expression is to straighten the legs, okay? So right now I'm using my hands to support the back of my legs with this extension. You can do this as well if you want to play with it, you know. Still using your core, lifting your chest, but you can support yourself to see what does it feel like to lift 1 foot, 2 feet, both feet, okay? So next is if you're cool with that, you feel stable in your core that you can hold this, bring your arms out or reach them even further forward, creating the sides of your boat, while your belly is the bow. Boat language, okay? So that's that expression. It's quite difficult, quite challenging. You have to keep lifting those heels, keep extending your heart. It's a lot, so don't feel bad. if that's not your boat of choice. That's totally okay. So, also, this is what I'm describing as high boat, okay? So, high boat is lifted high up here, okay? Maybe again, legs extended. And then extra option, if you're real spicy, is you can bring peace fingers, big toes, bind for the boat. Okay? Lift the heart, keep expression, extending, but with a bind. And then I don't know if it's still in the boat category, but I've done it on a studio where you can then open your legs and you're like in a wide leg boat. This is, again, a lot of balance, a lot of work, and it takes flexibility. So, options. High boat. Now, low boat, okay? You might have done this because we do high boat, low boats occasionally. So, low boat, your upper body stays the same. Your weight is still in the same location on your butt region. The only thing is your legs are now halfway to a hover, extending out. Roscoe's my block here to demonstrate. So your torso stays the same. It's your legs that change. So for a long time, I descended halfway with my heart. And sometimes I do a little bit. You just can't help it. But the goal really is to use those hip flexors to help extend the legs instead of dropping your back down. It's most stabilized up, extending out. So just be wary and know your limits, okay? And this could be something you explore, again, one leg at a time. One leg. One leg. Maybe two legs. Maybe eventually you go at a twist, boat twist. All right, so this is an awesome pose. It's totally interchangeable, variant, dynamic, it's everything. And it's a challenge. I definitely face my own limitations in it, and I'm sure that some of you do out there as well. Let me know if you're facing any additional challenges, have any remaining questions, comments, concerns. Put them in the description section below. But otherwise, that's about it on this pose. Regarding modifications, start with your heels down and maybe keeping your hands on the earth by your hips. All right, I didn't talk about that, but that's also an option. Place your hands here and give that support so you can, keep that extension in your spine and not dump out. This is okay. This is fine. I don't know if you just heard that, but Roscoe just ripped one. So we'll close there. Again, put something in the description section below. If you have any questions, if you liked this video, give me a like before you go and subscribe if you aren't already. Otherwise, have a beautiful day and namaste.